Welcome to respiration in plants. Like we respire, plants also do respiration. And they use that carbon dioxide or air for their uptake of nutrition, absorption, growth, development, movement, reproduction, and even breathing. And after that, what is extra? It is given out in the environment as heat. So all this process is called as cellular respiration. All living organisms require a continuous supply of energy for their survival. All living organisms, plants and animals, require energy to survive. This energy is used to carry out various functions such as uptake of nutrients. Why this energy is required? To take nutrients, absorb them for growth and development and movement and reproduction and breathing. About 50% of the energy produced by the cell is utilized by these cellular activities, and rest of it is changed into heat and is lost into the environment. Now the question arises, from where does this energy come to carry out all these processes of life? From where this energy is coming? From where is this energy coming? This chapter deals with basic concepts of energy producing biological processes called cellular respiration. As in humans or animals, respiration is intake and outtake of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So, we eat food in order to obtain energy. The macromolecules present in our food are oxidized to fulfill the energy requirement of our body for carrying out all basic life processes. What we eat is converted into energy by oxidation. As we already studied in last chapter, that only green plants and some bacteria can prepare their own food by the process called photosynthesis. They obtain their food by converting light energy into chemical energy, which thereby gets stored into the bonds of carbohydrate molecules such as glucose, sucrose, starch, etc. This energy, what it is produced by photosynthesis or by converting light energy into chemical energy, is stored as glucose, sucrose, starch, so that it can be utilized when needed. But all the cells, tissues and organs in plants do not photosynthesize. Instead, photosynthesis takes place in only some parts of plants, that is, only cells that contain chloroplast, that is, green parts of the plant. The whole plant do not photosynthesis. Only the green part, that is leaves, photosynthesis because they have chloroplast in their cells. Hence, all other non-green parts of the plant need food for oxidation to get energy. But other parts also need energy, yet they do not produce energy. Thus, food has to be translocated, means from here to there, from the green parts to the non-green parts for the oxidation processes to generate energy. Why there is need of photosynthesis? Animals, on the other hand, are heterotrophic in nature. That is, they either obtain food directly from the plants, herbivorous, or indirectly depend on herbivorous, that is, those animals who eat plants for their food, which are carnivores. Saprophytes are dependent on dead and decaying matter of their food, that is, fungi and some bacteria. Thus, it can be concluded that all the food that is required for life processes ultimately comes from photosynthesis. So, photosynthesis is the biggest life processes of biological world. Now the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the process of breaking of the carbon-carbon, that is CC bond of complex compound through oxidation within the cells, leading to release of considerable amount of energy in the form of ATP. What is cellular respiration? It is the breaking of CC bond, that is carbon-carbon bonds, through which oxidation within the cells, and due to this breakage there is release of energy in the form of ATP, and this ATP is stored as energy or utilized as energy. It is to be noted that the site of breaking down of complex molecules to yield energy is cytoplasm. Where this breaking down happens? In cytoplasm and mitochondria of living cells. Plant cells also carry out cellular respiration to get energy. Respiratory substrates. The compounds that are oxidized during the process of respiration are called respiratory substrates. The compounds which oxidize, respiration के दौरान जो oxidize होते हैं, that substance is called as respiratory substrates. Carbohydrates are used as major respiratory substrate. Which is the major substrate? Carbohydrate. By the most of the organisms to get energy, but under some conditions in some organisms, proteins, fats and organic acids are also used as respiratory substrates. Now, what is difference between respiration and combustion? Both are processes. Respiration is a breakdown of complex compound through oxidation within the cells, leading to release of considerable amount of energy. Respiration, first of all, although it is an oxidation process, but it is within cells and releases energy or ATP. What is combustion? Combustion is a complete burning of organic compounds. Here it is breakdown. Here it is complete burning. Here it is breakdown. Here it is complete burning of organic compounds which produces CO2 and H2O and yield energy in the form of heat and light. Got it? Here it is energy is ATP. Here it is heat and light. In respiration, it is controlled stepwise biochemical process. It is a controlled process. It is an uncontrolled, combustion is an uncontrolled physiochemical process. Many chemical bonds break simultaneously, releasing large number of energy. In respiration, what happens? Many chemical bonds like CC break simultaneously, releasing large amounts of energy or ATP. Here in combustion, chemical bonds break one after another to release energy. In respiration, enzymes are involved. In combustion, enzymes are not involved. In respiration, number of intermediates are formed for the synthesis of different organic compounds. And here, combustion, no intermediate products are produced during combustion. Now, what is ATP?
Adenosine triphosphate.
Yes. It is an energy currency of the cell. जब भी कुछ काम करना है तो पैसा देना है, तो सेल के पास कौन सा पैसा है? ATP. During the process of oxidation of food within a cell, all the energy contained in the respiratory substrate is not released free into the cell or in a single step. Oxidation process में पूरा energy release नहीं होता है. It's not released. Instead, it is released in a series of stepwise reactions. In series, one by one, which is controlled by enzymes and is trapped as chemical energy in the form of ATP. Hence, the energy released in respiration by the process of oxidation is not used directly but is used in synthesizing ATP, which is utilized wherever energy is needed. Thus, it is said that ATP acts as energy currency of cell. Yani where it is needed, there only it is used. This energy trapped in ATP is used in many energy requiring processes of the organisms. बहुत सारे जो प्रोसेसेस रहते हैं, एवरी प्रोसेस नीड्स एटीपी और एनर्जी, and the carbon skeleton produced during respiration is used as precursor for biosynthesis of other molecules in a cell. That means the compounds, carbon compounds, are used during respiration as precursor for biosynthesis of other molecules. Other molecules बनाने के लिए these compounds are used. Exchange of gases in plants. You have seen exchange of gases in animals or humans. Now, how in plants it takes place? For the process of respiration, plant takes oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. Plants have stomata. What they have? Stomata and lenticles for gaseous exchange instead of specialized organ that are present in animals for exchange of gases. What do animals have?
Lungs.
Yes, from nose to alveoli. Then alveoli is in lungs. Following are the reasons which show how plants can get along without respiratory organs. Every part of the plant has the ability to take care of its own needs of gaseous exchange, and also very little transport of gases occur from one part to the plant to another. यानी एवरी पार्ट ऑफ प्लांट, हर एक पार्ट प्लांट का उसके पास एबिलिटी रहती है टू डू गैसियस एक्सचेंज. ही कैन एक्सचेंज गैसेस, ऑल्सो ट्रांसपोर्ट गैसेस. Plants do not present great demands for gas exchange. Roots, stems, leaves respire at rates far lower than animals do. Only during the process of photosynthesis that large volume of gases are exchanged, and each leaf of the plant has ability to take care of its own needs during these periods. That means root, stem, leaves, everyone respire at its own speed, but when their photosynthesis takes place, then they respire more. Thus, when cells photosynthesize, availability of oxygen is not a problem in these cells due to continuous release of O2 that takes place within the cells. During photosynthesis, continuous release of O2, that means they take carbon dioxide inside and they release O2. Gases easily diffuse in large bulky plants as distance for diffusion is not great in these plants. That means large amount of gas is diffused or in and out is process is done. This is because living cells in a plant are located quite close to the surface of the plant. Why? Because the cells which respire are on leaves, and leaves are on the surface of the plant. In case of stems, which are thick and woody in nature, the organization of living cells is in the form of thin layers which are formed inside and beneath the bark. As the stems are thick and woody, so they form thin layers, and transportation of gas or energy takes place in stem. Like leaves which have stomata for gaseous exchange, these stems also have opening called lenticles. जैसे leaves में stomata है, stems में lenticles है. Internal cells are dead and provide only mechanical support to the plant. The inside or internal cells of stem are dead, means they cannot respire or they cannot do photosynthesis, and they provide mechanical support to the plant. This depicts that most cells of the plant have at least a part of their surface in contact with the air. The loose packing of parenchymal cells in leaves, stems and roots provide an interconnected network of air spaces which help in facilitating this process. What is the connection between leaves, stems, roots? Inside connection, parenchymal cells. Through parenchymal cells, they can pass their energy. Types of respiration. We know that during the process of respiration, utilization of oxygen takes place with the release of carbon dioxide, water, and energy as byproduct. Cellular respiration may be defined into two types, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic respiration. This is the type of respiration in which organisms utilize oxygen for the complete oxidation of organic food into CO2, water, and energy. It starts in cytoplasm and get completed inside the mitochondria. This plant, what it does, there is combustion of organic food into CO2, water, and energy. This is an compound C6H12 plus oxygen under the influence of enzyme gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. And this process is in cytoplasm, that is inside the mitochondria. Formation of ATP, and this ATP is utilized as energy. This is aerobic respiration where more energy as respiratory substrate is completely oxidized in the presence of oxygen. This process to form energy requires oxidation or oxygen. So, the respiration at cell level. First is aerobic, which requires oxygen. Second is anaerobic, which does not require oxygen. This is the type of respiration in which organic food is oxidized incompletely. It occurs in cytoplasm and releases small amount of energy. Example, common products of anaerobic respiration are CO2, ethyl alcohol, and lactic acid. This carbon compound in influence of enzymes gives 2CO2, that is ethyl alcohol, 2C2H5OH or lactic acid. This compound glucose gives carbon dioxide, either ethyl alcohol or lactic acid. It is believed that the first cell on this planet lived in a reducing environment when O2 was not present in the atmosphere, that is, they were anaerobes, that means they did not require oxygen for respiration. Even among present day living organisms, many of them are adapted to anaerobic conditions. Some of them are facultative anaerobes. Facultative means they have capability to switch from aerobic to anaerobic. They can respire in both the ways, while others are obligate. Obligate means if they don't get oxygen, they are killed. Organisms that are killed by normal atmospheric concentration of oxygen of 21%. Thus, in any case, all living organisms retain the enzymatic machineries for partial oxidation of glucose in the absence of oxygen. And this breakdown of glucose in pyruvic acid is called glycolysis. It occurs in cytoplasm of living cells. All living organisms has an enzyme machine. By this enzyme machine, there is an partial oxidation of glucose in absence of oxygen. Glucose is half oxidized without oxygen and thereafter fully oxidized with oxygen.